What's up everyone, Criddle here, and in this video we're going to go over the Enchanter class in Monsters and Memories. We'll cover how I would build the character and stat priority, the Enchanter's role in a group, how well the Enchanter can solo, and finally take a look at some of the skills and abilities. The Enchanter is primarily a crowd control class, which means it has the ability to incapacitate enemies for long durations. In the case of the Enchanter, they have mesmerize spells, which can cause an enemy to take no actions until the mesmerize spell breaks, or they take at least 1 point of damage. In addition to that, Enchanters have some of the best buffs, debuffs, and the ability to charm almost any enemy in the game. Enchanter can be a dwarf, gnome, goblin, or human, and I suspect deep dwarf, deep gnome, deep elf, and high elf to also be options in the future. As for stats, the Enchanter has increased intelligence and charisma, indicating these are primary stats, and I would agree. Intelligence will increase their max mana pool, while the charisma helps lower the resist with mind control spells like mesmerize and charm. For that reason, I would max both of these stats, leaving 3 points left, and stamina is an easy third stat to max, as they do have one spell line where their max stamina benefits the character they cast on. Not only that, but more stamina means more health, which increases the Enchanter's survivability when they inevitably get hit by their charmed pets when they break. For major combat traits, there are two choices that stand out above the rest. Those are charismatic and intelligent. Either of these choices are great for the Enchanter, as intelligent will increase their max mana pool, while charismatic helps with their mind control spells as mentioned earlier. Do note that the active ability for intelligent only increases your intelligence stat for 15 seconds, which simply increases your max mana pool for that duration, making it not worth casting at this time. The charismatic ability, however, could come in handy when attempting to charm or mez higher level enemies, giving a greater chance of success. This would mean you would need this ability on your bar, which is currently limited to 10 abilities at one time, which would limit the other abilities at your disposal. For me, this is a tough choice, but overall I think charismatic would win out, especially if I plan to charm a lot of enemies. Minor combat trait for me would be Defender, as it is the only skill I wouldn't be able to easily increase, and having a high defense is beneficial for when, not if, your charm breaks. Casting skills should be easy enough to keep max at each level without much effort, and your combat skills aren't worth considering, as you'll be meditating when you are not actively casting a spell in combat. Major non-combat trait is generally the same for every class, and I would choose Master Artisan if I plan to do trade skills, or Forage for the free food and water. Fast and slow metabolism, in my opinion, are not worth it, as food is fairly cheap and easy to obtain, and currently endurance doesn't do much other than allow you to jump a few extra times. While infravision and ultravision can be nice for seeing in the dark, you can also use light sources or adjust your monitor to compensate. Iron Lungs is another one that can easily be replaced with the Endure Breath spell. And finally, we have the minor non-combat trait, which is up to you. Choose whichever trait you want based on the trade skill you want to level, and if you want to level several, find the one that is most difficult. Many enchanters choose jewel crafting as their trade skill due to their ability to enchant metals and craft them into powerful items. Currently, jewel crafting is one of the better trade skills in Monsters and Memories, but that may change as the game develops. As for skills, the Enchanter has all the casting skills needed starting at level 1, as well as basic combat skills like offense, defense, and bludgeoning. They will unlock meditation at level 4, at which point you will mostly be sitting during combat unless you are actively casting a spell, as meditation increases your mana regeneration while sitting. Looking at the Enchanter spells, we can see they are focused on crowd control as mentioned before. The Enchanter gets a full line of spells which prevent enemies from taking action so long as they are left alone. In addition to that, Enchanters can charm enemies with few limitations. They can then use these charm enemies to fight for them, increasing the damage output of their party, or help them solo other enemies. Another benefit of charmed enemies is spellcasters will often buff their masters, allowing Enchanters to utilize buffs they normally would not have. Do be careful when charming enemies, however, as the charm spell can and will often break early, and an unprepared enchanter could find themselves in a bit of trouble. In addition to the mesmerize and charm line, enchanters get fantastic debuffs which allow them to weaken enemies, slow attack speed, or deplete the target's mana, preventing them from casting spells. This further makes the enchanter extremely valuable in a party, especially when fighting tougher enemies at later levels. Not only do enchanters have debuffs, but they are also able to buff allies, increasing their strength, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma, but possibly the most important buffs are their attack speed line, which they get the most powerful haste spell in the game at later levels, and their mana regen line, which is currently exclusive to the Enchanter class. These two spells alone make having an Enchanter in your party worthwhile, and when adding to their crowd control capabilities, it makes Enchanters one of the most sought after classes in the game. That all said, Enchanters do have some direct damage spells, which further reduce enemy stats and mana regen, but their damage is lower and less efficient than similarly leveled DPS classes. Most Enchanters will not be casting the direct damage line of spells, as to save mana for mez, charm, mana drain, or stuns when needed. Lastly, Enchanters have illusions, allowing them to turn into any playable race in the game and possibly other illusions in the future. Overall, the Enchanter is likely going to be one of the most demanded classes in a party for its crowd control capabilities as well as its powerful buffs. With its ability to charm almost any enemy in the game, a skilled enchanter will be able to solo quite well, making them one of the better solo classes as well. Anyway, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed the content or found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and follow for more. Also, be sure to tune into my Twitch stream where we'll be playing and chatting about Monsters and Memories as well as many other games. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!